There are some truths that are so important, they deserve to be said more than once and expanded upon. Today is one of those times. If you were with me yesterday, we touched on something that I believe could change the way we think about healing from narcissistic abuse. And it's this: when you stand in your truth, you no longer need to argue. You don't need to be believed anymore. And that shift in mindset changes everything. So today, I want to stay with that thread just a little bit longer, because the more I sit with it, the more I realize just how rich and how empowering and even how sacred it feels to live that way. This isn't just a strategy to win against a narcissist. This is about reclaiming your dignity. It's about no longer offering your soul up for negotiation. When you're trapped in a relationship with a narcissist, whether it's a spouse, partner, a family member, or even someone you work with, you can feel like you're constantly on trial. And that's a bad feeling, to know that, or fear that every word you say is twisted. Every defense you make is laughed at. Every attempt to clarify or plead your case is just another opportunity for the narcissist to gaslight you or undermine you. And so you fall into this exhausting cycle where you say to yourself, if I could just explain it better, if I could just make them understand. But the truth is, and this is really painful when you realize it, the narcissist does understand. They just don't care. And when you really see that, not just intellectually, but deep in your spirit, something incredible can happen if you let it. You stop playing the game. You stop standing in front of someone who has no intention of seeing you. When you realize you don't need to win the argument, that you don't need to be found not guilty, and you don't need their validation to make your reality real, because you see the truth and you already know what happened. And no matter what narrative they spin, your truth stands. That's when you can step into your power. I invite you to picture this. You're standing quietly, calmly, front of the narcissist, and they're baiting you with lies, trying to provoke you. And instead of reacting, you stand rooted like a mountain. You don't flinch. You don't argue. You don't scramble to correct the record. You simply are. Your truth surrounds you like armor, and they can't penetrate it. And in that moment, something sacred is happening. You are taking back the ground that they tried to claim. It's not that you win, it's that you withdraw your consent to be toyed with anymore. You withdraw your energy from that endless battle. And when you do that, you're no longer their opponent. You're free. I know this isn't easy. It takes time and practice, and it even takes grieving the hope that one day that they would see you clearly. But I want to tell you that standing in your truth without needing their permission or their approval is one of the most profound acts of healing that you will ever experience. Your truth does not need to be sold, and it doesn't need to be explained or defended. It only needs to be lived. And the more you live it, the more you're going to find that the narcissist's power, which was once so big and overwhelming, becomes small. It's almost non-existent. You don't need to convince them anymore. You only need to walk forward, rooted in who you are, and you are free. If this message is speaking to you, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's a quiet strength in choosing truth, even when it feels invisible to others. And every time you stand quietly, peacefully, in the certainty of your own heart, you are doing something extraordinary. You are walking in truth. And somewhere, I think this is so awesome, someone else who is still finding their way will draw courage from the road you are now walking. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney and author of Undercurrent, a story about a young woman named Annie who finds the courage to break free from her narcissistic marriage, and she finds her way on to the other side. If today's message touched you, will you stay connected here with me on Are You Annie? And if you feel moved to do so, you're welcome to share this episode with someone who might need it. And for someone who feels ready to do this today, if you recognize yourself in this journey and it feels right to you, I invite you to simply comment, I am Annie. There's no pressure, there's no expectation. What that is just a quiet affirmation that you don't feel alone anymore and that you believe healing is possible. And as always, I want you to know that you are stronger than you ever believed. And I want you to be tenacious and never give up on what's important to you. Thank you for walking this path with me. I appreciate you. And until next time, take good care of yourself. I'll see you.